As the Chair of the Science Committee, Mr. Lucas of Oklahoma, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Powell, I'd like to follow up on the topic of capital standards. One of those things we've discussed many times together. As you know, commodity markets have seen significant volatility in the last few years. And during times of tremendous economic uncertainty, like we've seen, end users turn to the markets to hedge risk, particularly those in the agriculture and energy sectors. And I know that the Fed is early in the review process of potential changes in capital requirements. Can you, well, I'll ask anyway. Can you commit to ensuring that these changes will not increase the cost for banks providing those commodity derivatives to end users?
That's a really specific, can I go look at that? I'm not actually sure that the work even addresses that. So
Fair point.
I'm to come back to you on that.
And that particular response makes me feel better, because after all, those products are very important to my folks and make a great deal of difference in how they're able to address their issues. So, as you discussed earlier, and as you've consistently assured, the Fed's not a climate-making policymaker. You and I have talked about this issue, again, many times in the past. However, I'm concerned that the Fed could be heading in that direction and could be laying the groundwork for climate-related stress tests that would reduce access to capital for entire sectors of the economy. This would also open up the Federal Reserve, potentially to political pressure, and force the Fed, in fact, to make policy decisions related to climate change. We've seen, for example, this administration turn to regulators to impose climate policy as an alternative to the legislative process. Chairman Powell, how careful are you in ensuring that the Fed does not place itself into the climate debate? And how can Congress ensure that the Fed's regulatory toolkit is not, shall we say, warped into creating climate policy outcomes?
So I think we do have a narrow but real role there, which is around bank supervision, making sure the banks understand and can manage their risks over time from climate. I think my colleagues and I all understand that it's a tightly circumscribed role that we're playing, and that we're not looking to move into an area where we're actually becoming a climate policymaker. I would completely agree with you, though, that over time that border needs to be very carefully guarded, and I will tell you that I will do that as long as I'm at the Board of Governors.
I very much appreciate that, because again, it's a very important issue to the 3rd District of Oklahoma. Traditional production agriculture, oil and gas, and the actions that the Fed takes have a significant impact back home. So it's vital that, that we resist the demands to do that sort of thing now or in the future. And I very much appreciate that response. And with that, I'll yield back the balance of my time, Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman yields.